Hi, welcome to the Doorway to the Word. Today is episode 5 of Book of Job, the Prologue, Part 4, the arrival of three friends. Well, upon hearing that great disaster came upon Job, and Job is in such a state, three of his friends decided to go and see him to comfort him. So they set out together. Their names were Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. Who are they? Was a question I had. So I looked into it and found out a little bit about them. Well, Eliphaz was described as Eliphaz the Temanite. Well, Teman, where the Temanites are from, is actually the same place as the Edom. They're synonym of the Edom. And he is actually identified in the Bible in Genesis 36, verse 2 to 4, as the oldest son of Esau, the Jacob's brother. And his mother was called Ada the Hittite. This will make Eliphaz is the uncle of Job, according to the Septuagint. And also, he might be the oldest of three friends. The also interesting thing is the Eliphaz represents the wisdom of Edom, that the Edom was known for their wisdom apparently at that time. In Jeremiah 49 verse 7 it says, "Is there no longer wisdom in Teman," which is Edom? "Has counsel perished from the prudent? Has their wisdom decayed?" So Eliphaz, the oldest of all, it could be the uncle of Job. Bildad, the Shuhite. Well, he was a descendant of Shur, the son of Abraham, and his wife Keturah, and who was possibly Arabic descent. This Abraham's wife Keturah is interesting. She was taken as Abraham's wife after the Sarah, his wife, died. You can read the story in Genesis 25 verse 1, and it says she was from Arabia. So therefore that might make Bildad in the kind of Arabic descendant lines. So Bildad the Shuhite, related to or connected to Abraham. Well, third friend, that Zophar, the Naamite. Naamite is a Gentile name, it's not Hebrew name. And Naamah is possibly the name of the city in Arabia. In Septuagint, he was referred as a king of Minians. And Minian was also known as Kingdom of Main, which was actually located in modern-day Yemen in the south of Arabia during 1000 to 150 BC. So this will lead us to believe that Zophar might be an Arabic person. Saying that, actually there was a name Naamah is mentioned in Joshua 15 verse 1 as a city in the west of a tribal territory of Judah as well. So this second theory will make the Zophar might be the Israelite. But either way, they are from around that area. Interesting possibility, they were all referred as kings of their own lands or city of Edom and Arabia, according to Septuagint. Also Eliphaz, as I said, might be the close relative of Job, as Job's uncle. This will make quite a sense that if Job was a king or wealthy merchant or very important prominent nobleman of a large city, those three friends are also noblemen in their own cities. Therefore, it could be as I said, Eliphaz might be a relative, and Bildad, Zophar, could have been Job's diplomatic allies turned friends. See, you can imagine all that. Yeah. So those are the friends set out to see Job. And story tells us when they are approaching to Job's house and they saw Job from distance, and they could hardly recognize him. Job changed so much, both physically in appearance and the surrounding, because he lost everything, isn't it? And of course, probably his countenance was changed from this suffering and agony and the experience he had. And they could not recognize him. And they wept bitterly and mourned with Job and sat with him for 7 days and 7 nights in silence. They were in great shock, obviously, to see his friend in such a great suffering. And I believe they genuinely felt really sad for him. But also, the Job's state actually shocked them and shook their beliefs very badly. And from the statement in the book and later on later chapters, you can actually figure out what they believed. And I will call it retributive philosophy, which is this. They believe that the sufferings come to someone who has sinned as a punishment from God. The righteous man, God blesses, and unrighteous man, God punishes. Therefore, when they see someone suffering, they take it as the punishment from God for their hidden sins, or something they did, something really bad. You see, Job was the most righteous man they knew. And seeing him suffering like this was a great shock to them. And I believe it shook the foundation of their beliefs of this. Maybe it terrified them even, because seeing the righteous man, our friend, the righteous Job, is suffering like this. If the righteous man is punished like this, how about us? We are not as righteous as Job. How great the suffering, the punishment would come from God. There must be something wrong here. So that's why they started trying to justify and trying to find the explanation of what is going on to uphold their beliefs. You see, if Job had some kind of hidden sin we don't know, but God is seeing everything, and therefore God is punishing him of this hidden sin, everything makes sense, and that our beliefs will stand. It seems that they wanted to believe that the Job did something wrong. Therefore, they repeatedly accused Job of having a hidden sin, did something wrong, and said, admit it, confess and repent to God, so that the God will restore you. You see, the friends' counsel to Job began with the aim to comfort their suffering friends, but it became an argument to justify their own belief, to escape from their fear. You see, I believe they genuinely wanted to comfort Job when they heard about it. But when they saw with their own eyes what is going on, that really terrified them. And their faith was destroyed by what they saw. See, their testament became for themselves instead of to comfort their friends. Well, we will look at that in details and the in-depth of their arguments, their discussion, their statements with Job, and what they represent in their statement in the later episodes. Well, now Job's friends arrived. After 7 days of silence, Job begins to speak. And that's in the next episode. Until then, God bless.